Hi everybody, I trust you're all well and survived the weekend. The weekend made me very lazy, but one more day of public holiday and then we are back to normal. To make things worse, Dragon Man and I are home alone and the generator's cables snapped. So we can't start it and there is nothing we can do about it until tomorrow when all the shops are once again open. So Dragon Man and I had spent considerable time in the dark or without the internet this weekend because guess what? The USB inverter power bank's gel battery also decided enough is enough about 2 weeks after its warranty expired. I'm telling you guys, this year is going to drive me to drink. Anyway, I have not had much time to put together the next part of Megan Revealed because I have not been on my email for 3 days, and the email concerning this needs careful scrutiny, but I am by no means done and part 2 will come, just not today. In the run-up to the coronation, I decided to start each of my videos until Friday with something positive about the royal family. Of course, the first one will have to include William and Catherine, as Catherine is hands down my favorite royal at the moment, followed closely by Sophie and Anne. What I like about Catherine is that by now we know she is no pushover. We saw her disciplining her children. We know her staff respect her. And we know that she stood up to Meghan Markle. So whoever wants you to believe that Catherine is a weak, subservient woman is lying to you. It is quite the opposite, really. Catherine and William are actually very competitive, and she certainly does not let him win just because he is a prince. Catherine is a typically modern woman who can stand on her own 2 feet. However, she likes tradition and loves sticking to tradition. She is proud of who she is. She is proud of being British, and she is proud of being part of the royal family, and that is why we saw her having a traditional wedding in a traditional wedding dress, sticking to protocol and raising her children to respect protocol and tradition. I love the fact that she is disciplined and, like the Queen, sticks to what works, from the clothes she wears to the way she handles herself during events. At the moment, Catherine is the jewel in the royal family's crown, although we cannot forget about Anne, the hardest working member of the family, and Sophie, likely the most intelligent, most streetwise, all-rounder. Last week was William and Catherine's 12th wedding anniversary, and I'm glad and very happy to see that they still seem to be the stars in each other's eyes. I think, like me, many people are only sticking to the monarchy to see William and Catherine on the throne. Of course, they are not perfect. Of course, I, like many of you, don't always agree with everything William and Catherine do or say, but in my opinion, the two of them are, can, and will put the joy and the glamour back into the monarchy. Okay, so that was my 5 minutes of positivity. Of course, all anyone and everyone is talking about is the coronation. Quite frankly, I'm watching the proceedings with very little interest and mixed feelings when something do attract my interest. I'm trying to figure it out because for most of my life, except when my children were babies and toddlers, I almost kept a better diary on royal events than on my own. But here comes a coronation, a once-in-a-lifetime event, and I feel flat. I watch posts on Instagram, footage and photographs of Camilla's robe being embroidered, their chairs being covered, And I find it all a little childish. Why do I feel this way at nearly 60 when I loved all the pomp and ceremony all of my life? I guess it is because I'm a little confused. No, strike that. A lot confused. The king won't wear tights. Okay, I don't blame him. But will have this elaborate mantle, cape, hand embroidered monstrosity that he walks out of the Abbey with. He can't squeeze one or two more people into the Abbey. Yes, I'm talking about the likes of Lady Pamela Hicks, but can make place for the Deputy President of China and the leader of Sinn Féin. The king has done away with the canopy under which they are traditionally anointed, but is having a new screen embroidered, and Camilla's ex-husband being invited to the coronation is just a little too weird. Look, I understand being on a good footing with your ex, particularly if you have children together, but to invite your ex to your now husband's coronation, the very do where the current husband is accepting his role as the head of the church. I don't know, guys. It almost feels like them flaunting Charles and Camilla's win over the grey suits and the church. Something like, yeah, you said I can't be queen because I had an affair with your future king. Well, here I am, being crowned queen, and I can even invite my ex-husband, just in case you have forgotten that I was a married woman at the time of our affair. You see what I'm getting at? I just don't know, guys. Everything just feels a little off to me, and God alone knows. I'm no prude, and actually Camilla does not bother me much. I also think my feelings have a lot to do with something I'm working on, drawing comparisons between Britain and my own country and making some discoveries. I think I would have been better off not knowing. For instance, the horrible, decrepit situations and decay in Cornwall towns like Bodmin and St. Austell and others, the rising crime rate, the increasing drug use, stores closing and places being boarded up. Yet, while this is all happening, the man who made and took millions of pounds from the county for 53 years will be riding off back to his castle in a golden coach. Yes, I know, it's the way of the world, in a way, but somehow the scales no longer balance for me, and I'm actually sad about it. I spent time in Britain in 2008 and again in 2014, and between 2008 and 2014 I saw a massive change in the area I stayed in each time, the area being Wickham, High Wycombe and West Wickham, and I shudder to think how I will find it now. But again, this is not my story. It's a story of a coronation, a story of a man who is already king, and whom I'm not sure is actually fit to be king. I'm trying so hard to tell myself that I'm just a nasty piece of work, just nitpicking, and that Charlie will be just fine as king. But I do my homework, I do my research, and I shudder. I feel the hair raise on my arms and my stomach turn, and I think of the political leaders we had over the past few years, some who thought they were dictators instead of elected officials. And there are some similarities to be found in the king's manner and demeanour. We have always just heard of the good he did in Cornwall, but never of the other side of the coin, the mines closing, people going out of work with no contingency plan for them. They don't tell you that on average, areas in Cornwall has the lowest average wage and the highest rentals. They don't tell you that house prices in places like Padstow and Wadebridge are among the highest in the country. Instead, when something is said, a library gets upgraded instead of people being taught how to read. Okay, I know that's a bit of a spin, but I'm trying to make a point here. In other towns, complaints and pleas are being met with a silly statue being erected. And while some of the buildings in some of these towns are being covered by mold, the king drives off in a golden carriage. Maybe I'm just getting old and cynical, but I sincerely hope that once the coronation is over, Prince William will move away from their usual haunts and jaunts and start looking into these almost forgotten places and not only help save them for the people, but also to preserve them for the country, its history and its culture. Some of these small towns in England and Wales are the most beautiful I have ever seen, and to see the decline and filth is really, really sad. Anyway, back to the coronation. I'm practically sure it's all attention seeking and nothing more, but there are rumors that Harry may still change his mind and not come to the coronation. I see everyone is squealing. How could he? How could he disrespect his father like that? How could he put the organizers in such a position? Oh, please. His backside fills but one chair. In my opinion, he should not be there. Not because he is no longer a working royal, but because of the damage and disrespect him and his wife had shown through the Oprah interview, the Netflix series, and his book. He does not like the monarchy. He does not like England. Remember, he actually said so. And London is a trigger for him. So he should not be there. He is a hypocrite and an idiot who no longer belongs in the same company as his brother, his family, and the rest of the family. Forget about him being Charles's son. He is a traitor and an embarrassment to his country. So in my humble opinion, it would have been more decent and respectful if he did not come. Now look, I adore Neil Sean, but in one of his recent videos, he even said Harry should bring his children to finally meet the King and Queen. But with all due respect to Neil, where should the King find the time during the 24 hours Harry will be in the country to meet the children? No, this is not the time. Harry could rather bring them a month from now to spend a private weekend and please not even tell us about it. They shouldn't even publish pictures of the children with Grandpa the King. Just frame one and go hang it on a wall in their own home. We don't want to know and we need not know. Okay, so that is my royal story for the day. But before I go, as some of you who have visited my website will know, I post some of my creative work on there as well, among which you will find 18 poems or rhymes for adults, which you can go read absolutely free and for fun. I have, however, put some of my work together in book form, and if you go to shop, in the menu at the top of the page, you can go click on digital download items. You will find 2 bookworm themed coloring in books, some free downloads, and now you will also find Soul Food 2nd edition. Soul Food has 48 poems written over many years. I made a short instruction video, as you can see, but it is actually very easy to download and the steps are the same whether you download a free item or one you pay for, with the exception that an item you pay for will take you to PayPal. But you will receive a receipt whether you choose a free item or one you paid for. Once you receive your receipt, you go to the bottom of the page, you scroll down your receipt until you find where it says products. Your products that you have chosen will be listed there. You click on them, you will see the words, the name of the product will get highlighted, and once you click on it, it will automatically download. Once it's downloaded, you can use it as is on your screen, or you can print it out. It will be yours to do with as you please, except that I hold copyright on the work and therefore you can't use or sell it as your own. But that is it. I would be grateful if you would support me in this venture, because it is what I choose to do instead of creating members only channels, Patreon, etc. Again, no pressure, and I will be adding new items from time to time, or as and when I manage to get my work together in a coherent format. I shall have some of it available in hard copy later in the year, but for now I would be grateful if you could give the website a visit if you haven't yet. I'll post the links in the description box below. Okay guys, hopefully the generator will be repaired tomorrow and then I can continue and complete my Meghan Markle expose. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.